Hi, this is Simon Obsdale and welcome to another tutorial for Blender. And this is going to be the first part in a multi-part tutorial, hopefully, in which we take a look at how I went about creating this steampunk fish scene. Now, it's not a particularly complicated scene, but there are quite a few interesting techniques involved in making it. And in each part, we'll be taking a look at a different component of the build, starting with the tail. So let's get into it. So here we are in the default Blender scene. Let's delete the cube. Let's turn off the camera and the light. And I also don't think we should see the 3D cursor unless we have to. So let's turn that off as well. So first of all, I want to come to the front orthographic view. So that's 1 on the number pad, if you have a number pad. And what I'm going to do is import my reference image. So I'm going to come to Add, and Image, and Reference. And I'm going to navigate to my fish drawing reference. Bring him in, and I'll provide you a link to that in the description. So this is a rough sketch that I made based on something I saw on the internet. And obviously I needed a nice orthographic view, so that's why I made this little sketch. It's pretty rough, but it'll give us a good starting point, I think. So I'm going to come over to Data here, and I'm going to click on Opacity, and I want to set the opacity down to 0.1, just so it's kind of visible, but we can draw over it a little bit more easily. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add a plane. So Add, Mesh, and Plane. And I'm just going to rotate it through 90 degrees on X, and then Control A, all transforms. Come into edit mode. Let's select all the vertices. Let's select the move tool. What I'm going to be modeling first of all is this tail here. So let's just move our plane over till it's over the tail like that. And let's turn on X-ray mode. And let's zoom in a little bit. And with the move tool selected, I'm just going to move these points till they define the outline of the tail. So there's only 4 of them, not too hard. So I'm not going to initially model these 2 rings here. That's going to be the second part of this process. So just those sort of fin bits like that. So then what I want to do is I want to make a loop cut, and it's going to be a horizontal one like that, but I actually want 15 of them. So 15 like that. And I'm also going to make a vertical loop cut, and I'm going to have 2 of them. And with the move tool selected, I'm going to select these points and just move them back a little bit like that. And maybe even move these 2 back a little bit as well. In actual fact, I think while we're at it, I might just scale those down. So use the scale tool and just scale them down so they're matching the profile a little bit better like that. So let's now consider how we're going to model this. What I'm actually going to do is create extrusions for the fins. And for an extrusion, I need a row of faces. So if you can imagine, this is going to be the top extrusion, and this is going to the bottom extrusion, and so on. The first thing I want to do, though, is I want to add a subdivision surface so we can get a better feel for how this is working. So add subdivision surface, and you can see it's kind of rounded off the corners a little bit. Let's again select the move tool. Let's come into edit points. So we want to leave 2 vertices for the spine, and then we want to grab this one, leave 2 vertices, grab this one, leave 2 vertices, grab this one, leave 2, grab this one, leave 2, grab this one. And I'm just going to move them back a little bit like that, and then we can finesse them afterwards. Let's just turn up the viewport levels on the subdivision so we can see a little bit better. So already I think you can see how this is working. We're just going to finesse these a little bit. So I don't like this crossing over too much. So let's just move it down so it's a little bit more in the middle like that. Mainly just moving these into a more suitable position. It doesn't have to exactly follow the model. The reference drawing is actually a little bit rough and ready anyway, as you probably noticed, but it's probably a good idea to just kind of have something to start with. So I hope you can understand what I'm doing here. Just moving all of these vertices until they're in a good position. Right, let's now switch into faces mode. Let's also come out of X-ray mode. So I'll start at this end. I'll select that face, Control select this one, and then counting down 2 each time. Shift, select this one and this one. Gap of 2, Shift and Control. 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 And so now we've got all our faces selected and we can extrude them. So I'm going to extrude them on Y. So E for the extrude tool, Y for the direction, and negative 0.125 for the amount. And now you can see we've got those nice ribs like that. So let's do a little bit more work on the profile. Let's first of all just up the subdivisions to 3 so we can get a better idea of how smooth it's looking. Let's switch on X-ray mode. Let's hit Control 7 on the number pad to bring up the bottom view. And let's switch into vertices mode. And let's just grab all of these. So we've still got the move tool selected. And let's just change that profile like that. So it's kind of, it's got a more interesting sweep. And I think that's going to be better. So then I'm going to switch out of subdivision mode and come out of X-ray mode as well. And let's select faces. And what I want to do is I want to select all of these faces along the back here. So this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. X to delete and delete faces. Then I'm going to come back into vertices mode and I'm going to select these vertices here and I'm going to hit M on the keyboard, which will merge them. So we'll select at center. So M for merge is quite an easy shortcut to remember. So again, with that next row, M and at center. You can just hit M and enter. In actual fact, you don't have to select it from the menu. So M and enter, these ones here, M and enter, these ones here, M and enter, and these ones here, M and enter. So now it should look like that. So then we want to select all of the vertices apart from the outside ones, so those ones there. And we want to move them up to the top to meet all the others there. So I'm going to do G and Y and negative 0.125. And you can see now they're all at the top like that. And we just need to do a little bit more merging just to merge these 3 here. So select those, again, M and enter, select these 3, 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 M and enter. So now let's turn back on subdivision mode and you can see we've got this nice flowing effect of them all kind of flowing up into this one point here. And it looks so much better than it did before. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at these rings here. Let's come into edges mode and let's just turn off subdivision to make it easy to select. Select this edge and Control select that edge till we've got that entire row there. Let's come to 1 so we can see exactly what we're doing. Then E for the extrude tool and X for the direction. And we're going to extrude it all the way back to there. Then I'm going to select the loop cut tool and make a single cut there. Then I'm going to choose the insert faces tool and I'm going to come into faces mode. I'm going to select this face here and Control select that one there. And I'm going to just very slightly insert those faces like that. And I'm going to do the same thing with this row here. So select that one, roll over, Control select that one, and very slightly insert those faces. Let's turn back on subdivision mode. Let's select this face and this face, this face and this face. And let's grab the move tool and let's move them up quite a bit like so to create that rounded effect. Now let's select the edges tool, pop out of subdivision mode and select these edges here, shift selecting all of those back into subdivision mode. And again, with the move tool, we can just move these out so we get a more sort of rounded profile like that. Then I'm going to switch to faces mode and I just want to scale this one out a little bit. So let's select this one here and Control select that one. And because you see we've got a larger ring on our reference, let's come to 1 on the keypad. So select the front orthographic view. Let's select the scale tool. and just scale that out till it's something like this. And we might actually just do a little bit of scaling on this one as well, because that actually looks quite nice. So select that one and Control select that one. And again, we're just scaling it in this direction like so. I think that is pretty good, and that's more or less the effect that we are wanting to go for. Now, when it comes to finishing off this project, of course, we will need to mirror this, but I think we've done quite enough for now, and I think we can leave it at this point. So thanks very much indeed for watching. See you again soon.